We are recording. That totally didn't come through, Sky.
Hi, YouTubers!
There we go. I don't know why, but that makes me so happy when you say that. I don't know why. It's
I
weird.
think it's because literally it's the one we look forward to it for a week
That could be.
because it means it's game time.
Last session, you guys went and found some shrines in this old, crumbling village. You found a quote unquote treasure room of Bryn's grandfather. It had a number of
Map.
what's that?
And maps.
Yes, it had a lot of maps, a lot of documents, a number of old spears and bows that you guys could have looked over, or didn't really look over or whatever.
We looked, but I didn't see nothing. They were just old boats.
That's true. I guess you did look. Never mind. I stand corrected. Um, and you later decide, or the next day, you decided to travel up and explore this enchanted pond. Approaching the pond, Sky used his tracking ability, whatever it's called, to track dragonoids, dragonkin, and he detected 4 as opposed to the 1 or 2 that he detected last time. As
You
you
do it again, or you're going to get 8?
no,
I'll raise a dragon army.
as you guys approached, uh, Rogar decided to approach, or I think Rogar was voluntold to approach first, as he is a dragonborn and some kin to dragons in some way. He approached and decided to pray to his goddess. Was it a stillbore?
Yes.
And his response was, "Step forth and bear witness." And he climbed it. He found a platform of sticks, or made from sticks, in the tree. He climbed it and found 2 dead fairy dragons. Well, 2 dead creatures with rainbow wings and 4 eggs in a nest. As he brought the creatures down, Sky was able to identify them as fairy dragons. Um, and I think that was where we left it.
Yeah.
Okay. As what did you do anything with the eggs?
We
Um,
took them, and that's as far as we got.
you
Then
brought
you
them
said
down.
game
Okay.
over
Okay.
for this week.
So you did bring them down then. So
Yeah.
you've got them on you.
I picked them up. I raised them, and Sky is floating them down to the ground. Is where we.
He picked up the eggs, and then I cast levitate on him, allowing him to float down to us.
Okay.
Okay, on me. That's what it was.
Okay. Um, I just wanted to verify where those eggs were. As you slowly float down to the ground under Sky's control, and you kind of touch the ground, and um, you're suddenly wondering what you're gonna do with 4 fairy dragon eggs. You hear that commanding voice again. Um, Witness born, go forth and avenge.
Cool.
And in your mind, you see an image of a um, um, give me just a second. I gotta find her. A blonde elf, very blonde female elf, I should say. She's wearing a dark green cloak, and she's got violet eyes, and she has two hunting cats following her. One of them is a very dark purple, almost black, and the other one is almost stark white. The six-legged hunting cats that she saw on this island. Well, that I guess Sky's the only one that actually saw it. The one that Sky told you about. That works.
Which mimics the figurine that I found.
Yes. And she also is carrying a pretty impressive looking bow. And you watch as she fires that bow, killing the. Or you watch a vision of her firing that bow and killing the fairy dragons.
I repeat what I say, what I see. That doesn't give me any idea of which direction she went.
Nope.
I tell everybody that I've been given a quest to go and kill her. And I describe her in as best detail as I can give.
She was what killed these fairy dragons?
Yes.
This is an image of the woman that you see.
She's bewitching beauty, and she just pulled the bow out and shot them.
Does he describe her? Or do you describe her?
Blonde hair, elven, thin features, beautiful eyes, and I'm colorblind, so I can't tell you the eyes.
Violet.
Violet eyes. Looked like she wore a necklace or a clasp on the necklace. It's gold. Sharp ears.
And
On a spider, six-legged spider-like creature.
Spider?
Isn't that what you said? Six-legged spider?
No, hunting cat.
No.
Oh, hunter cat. Sorry.
She had two of them with her. One was black or purple, dark purple, almost black. The other one was stark white. They're
Never described.
like her pets, not mounts, not a mount.
Okay, my pets.
I will say that sounds remarkably similar to Ilaria. Right down to the choice of pet colors.
Gives me more reason to kill.
Um, and you said you didn't know which way she or where she went after killing
No,
these?
I just saw a death of the beast, or the death of the death of my kin.
Um, we're in. It's like a clearing, right?
Yeah, it's a relatively small clearing, probably about 20 by 25, with a small pond in the middle, about 10 by 15.
I'll kind of look down to the ground and see if I can see any footprints or anything showing where they might have gone.
Give me a survival check. Nope. There aren't any obvious footprints or tracks that you can see.
I will mention that whoever it was, they seem to have been relatively stealthy and light on their feet.
That, and we don't know when this happened because the arrows that Rogar pulled from the dragons before we buried them looked to be
Ancient.
old. Yeah,
I see.
at least old, if not ancient.
So yeah, I guess it might have occurred 100 or more years ago or something. But there is a limit to how long ago it could have occurred when Bryn's grandfather was here.
That's correct. As far as Bryn has told you, her grandfather was here approximately 250 years ago.
So it happened sometime in the last 250 years.
Something like that. That's a pretty fair assumption.
Very short amount of time.
Yeah, not long at all. I'll turn to Rogar and ask if his vision said anything else or just gave you a quest to find the person,
To exterminate.
to exterminate them.
Vengeance.
No clues as to where to start.
None. And he sends a quick question if his goddess would allow him to know where to start in small prayer.
Give me a religion check.
All right. Gonna pop that up.
that's right. You're not at home, are you?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's only yesterday's game. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
No, if I was still waiting for a thing, maybe, but no, I got home from the shop fast enough. Religion. Did better than I thought it would. Well, it's a good enough amount.
Unfortunately, the your goddess remains silent.
I am not as close to her as I wish I was.
And I guess we'd better start trying to find it on our own.
I said one thing we can do is we're here for this pond. Let's investigate the pond or the yeah, it's the best way I can describe it. The pond, investigate it, and see if it gives us answers.
Sounds
And
like a
there,
plan.
and then I'm holding these eggs, looking at them and wondering, what do I do with these?
That is up to you.
Be a good mommy.
Yeah, somebody's gonna become a mommy.
All right. Anybody have something that I can put them in and keep them safe?
I know. I was just joking about that, Ken. Or Rogar, you can do whatever you want with them. That was me being a
Well, okay.
jackass, not me just as a
No,
DM.
no. I know you were just being smart. I wasn't, but he is responsible for him because he was told to step forth and you know care for them. So it's like okay, but now he's like, what do we do with them?
Out of character. 'Cause I don't want my alignment changing for some reason or another. Wonder how they would taste with some saffron.
Tastes like chicken. And would I change your alignment?
No, I was just this is not Sky, the character talking. Is Sky the player also being a jackass?
Yeah, well, that's to be expected.
Funny, I was kind of having the same thoughts.
Hey, we're all hungry. We admit it.
And the only reason I changed Agrius's alignment is because he killed someone in cold blood. Or I guess she killed someone in cold blood. But I guess Sky and my dad are the ones who know about that. But still. Uh, totally different game.
Well, Sky would be killing these in cold yoke.
I was kind of thinking, like, after last session where I'm like, I despise dragons. I don't really like dragons. Blah blah blah. But these are known to be like good type dragons, and then I go, so who's ready for breakfast? Be like, so guess what? You've just become evil. Sorry. You have lived up to your drow heritage, and yeah.
Nah, I won't be cruel today. At the moment, anyway. Can't promise the same in 5 minutes.
He moves towards the pond with them.
We're specifically coming here. I mean, it was called the Enchanted Pond, but was it specifically for the pond, or to look around the pond, or to investigate the pond, or
I believe it was.
this
I don't
was
know.
this was all you guys yesterday, while I was doing other stuff that you guys were talking about this.
I think this was just a point of interest on the island. So we wanted to check it out and see what's here. So I will step up behind Rogar to the edge of the water and see if we can figure anything about this place.
Okay. I guess if you want to just kind of look around to see what you see, go ahead and give me perception. If you want to actually investigate the pond, then give me investigation.
I will help.
I'll just look around the area myself and see if there's anything else around here
Yeah, Rogar's
that
having a bad day.
aren't islands or eggs in the trees.
Okay. Go ahead and give me perception then, Iriana. Okay.
Ouch.
Well, he got a 26. That's not bad because Sky's helping him. Helping her.
Yeah.
Um. Let's see. Looking around the trees, you do notice several other platforms made with sticks. But they don't look like they've been used recently. They're kind of in disrepair. A few sticks are falling down, and looks like they were homes, or homes for probably fairy dragons in the past, but aren't currently. Rogar, the very first thing you notice when you step up to this pond is it's very shiny, it's shimmering very, very brightly in the sun, almost abnormally brightly. With the diffused light coming through the fog above, it shouldn't be shimmering and shining as brightly as it is. The light is not proportional to the reaction, basically.
Do I see anything inside the pond that would cause it to shimmer?
The water itself is pretty clear, but unfortunately the was it I guess the floor of the pond is a little bit cloudy due to the silt and stuff at the bottom of the pond. So it's not, you can't really see what's at the bottom of the pond. You'd probably have to wade into the pond and go for a swim.
I put the eggs to the side, and I attempt it.
You go for a swim?
I go for a swim.
Are you taking your armor off first?
Yes.
Okay. So just your armor or all your gear? Basically, are you trying to swim with your pack on your back?
No, not my pack. No.
Okay.
Just I'm keeping everything dry pretty much. It'll
Okay.
be me, my weapons on my hips, and that's about it.
Okay.
Clothing too, but still.
Well, yeah. Okay, so you take a few minutes to strip down your gear and place it off to the side. And you wade into the pond and start kind of trying to swim around. It's the water's cool, not specifically cold, but it's cool, comfortable. Give me an athletics check. Okay, describe to me what exactly you're doing in the pond.
Yeah, I get in. I slowly walk into it, and I walk towards the center. As I've gotten towards the center, I'm looking for where the muddy area is, and I slowly start feeling around with my hands.
Okay. Um, as you get towards the center, the pond goes up over your head. It just gets deeper until it's over your head. Um, you kind of swim down to the bottom, start feeling around the bottom with your hands, and um, you're noticing a lot of, pardon me, as you reach down into the silt at the bottom, you pull up and you pull your hand up, and your hands are just full of all these rings and necklaces and brooches and different kinds of jewelry that just kind of sparkle and made of gold and silver and mithril and all sorts of different metals. And you just every time you reach down into that silt and grab a handful of whatever, you just come up with a handful of rings and necklaces and different kinds of jewelry.
I come back up, but I leave the jewelry, and I come back up and I tell the party about
A bunch of jewelry down at the bottom.
it. Yes.
Interesting. But do
Mithril, and I tell them
Ariona,
what it appears to be mithril and um, other items. And I walk over and I kneel down, and since uh, I ask since she's given me this quest now, and I've spoken to her once. I ask her, what should I do with the money? Is it, or yeah, the money, the jewelry, as it is part of where the eggs were.
Okay, give me another religion check.
Yeah.
So, just out of curiosity, are you planning on rolling good outside of athletics today?
I'm trying to figure that out myself because yeah, it's not working. I mean, my character's mindset is this is the dragon's horde that were killed because that's and he looks at since he's getting no response at the present moment unless you're thinking Sky, or not Sky, but White.
Oh, sorry. I guess with a 4, yeah, there's no response. Silence.
I tell the others of what I perceive or what I think, but with no real answer or guidance. That the joy was the dragon's horde, and that is why they were looking at it from above for their eggs. And if anything, he would like to give it to the eggs when they hatch. as it is theirs.
Guy will answer. Um, it is typical that dragons hoard items that they find useful, that they fancy. Um, fairy dragons in particular uh, love shiny trinkets. And what you're describing to us sounds like that would be right up their alley. Um, and that sounds like a very noble venture to pass it on to the kin of the fairy dragons that died, protecting them so that they could live.
And with Sky's wording, he goes back in the water and starts collecting the items.
Okay, how much are you planning to collect?
How much is there as he's pulling this stuff out?
There's a lot. Like, a lot.
He comes back up and he asks people if he should leave it since it's been hidden for so long and nobody comes to this island. Because I don't think I can carry that much unless somebody has something that can carry that much.
I think it's probably fine to leave it here.
I mean, imagine like the entire floor of this, entire bottom of this pond is covered in it.
Why do I have to be so good with the dragons? It sucks.
Maybe like a foot thick or more. Yeah, there's a lot.
Bryce is struggling to stay down.
Right?
Yeah. Heck, my character's struggling if he hadn't just talked to a god. Come on now. Okay. Then he leaves it all down there.
Okay. Are you injured?
Who, me? No, I haven't done anything that I know of.
Okay.
Now, the role player? Oh yeah, I didn't get to steal the gold. Come on now.
I will just kind of reach my hand into the water and, since it's called the Enchanted Pond, see if I can figure out what sort of enchantment it is.
Are you using detect magic or
Uh,
just Arcana?
I just an Arcana check for now.
Okay, then go ahead and give me an Arcana check. As you kind of cup your hand and lift up some of the water, and as you feel it run through your fingers back into the pond, you can tell that there's definitely some sort of magic at play. There's definitely some sort of enchantment on this water. You're just not quite sure what it does.
Yeah. Then I will spend some time casting Detect Magic.
Well, Iriana is trying to determine what magic is there. I reach down and scoop up a handful of these gems and jewels and whatever, and kind of swish it back and forth in my hand to leave the silt. And then I take it and hold it out in front of me and start to walk away from the pond. And my guess is that it may not be possible to carry that very far from the pond. And so I carefully walk slowly away, watching the contents of my hands to see what happens.
He watches as he walks away with the gold for the kids, for the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Suspicious. We just discussed this, so he's not like, what are you doing?
Okay.
I'm just experimenting.
As as you finish your spell, you you start to be able to notice that the pond is giving off two different auras. One is evocation, and the other one is conjuration.
For those of us that haven't been playing, what the heck are the two?
Evocation usually it's usually an attack spell. Usually something that an attack spell, but it's also healing spells. So it's something that evokes a reaction, or that causes a reaction. Conjuration is summoning things, for the most part. And as soon as you realize that it's evocation, you recognize you realize you do recognize the feeling that the water is giving, and you realize that if you bathe in the water long enough, it would heal you. As far as the conjuration is concerned, you notice as Lazem is walking away, and as he gets to the tree line, you notice a sudden pulse out of the conjuration aura. And Lazem, the trinkets disappear from your hand.
Okay, I see that, and I turn around and talk loud enough to tell everybody that. See, doesn't look to me like we can take these trinkets if we wanted to. They're protected and they're held right here in the pond. And while doing that, I kind of held up my hand to show them that, the handful that I had is gone. So I guess it's confirming the magic in two different ways.
Yeah.
Do you tell
So-
us about the spells on it?
Yeah, I do.
Uh,
Say that. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. You were saying?
I'll just say that there's some evocation, some like healing magic, and then some conjuration. And as Lazem walks out of the clearing, I'll say that's probably the conjuration magic.
So it seems that this treasure is being held here. And probably if anyone can take it away, it would be one of those fairy dragons. But I don't know that, and we only have eggs right now. So
Trial and error. I'm gonna pick up one of the eggs and walk over to where Lazem went and see what happens. See if the conjuration magic pulls the egg back as well, or if we can in fact take the eggs.
That's what I was going to suggest when I cut him off.
Okay. Nothing happens. You don't have a problem taking the egg.
Okay, then I'll walk back with the egg back to the others. But
He's going to put the eggs inside, one of the eggs inside the water to see what happens.
my thought is that the healing portion of this magic would cause it to mature and hatch.
That's why he put it in the water.
Starts to float.
He puts the other 3 in.
They start to float.
Okay, he collects them.
They stop floating.
Sure.
Sorry, that was me being a smartass again.
Good smartass.
out of the pond and the trees in this clearing, what else do we see around us? We're obviously somewhere close to the edge-ish that drops down to this level.
Relatively close. I mean, you can't actually see the wall through the trees and the fog. But you being a ranger and knowing your wilderness as you do, you can tell, you can hear the difference between how close you are to the wall and just an open forest. So you can tell the wall's there by the way sounds are kind of changed by its presence, but you can't actually see it from through the trees and the fog.
And is there any other nature around, or is it pretty quiet outside of us?
It's pretty quiet. I mean, you can hear some birds and insects and stuff. Not a whole lot of ground-based rodents and such critters. You guys haven't really seen very many ground-based critters since you got here. Pretty much the only things you've seen touching the ground outside of you guys have been axebeaks and the hunting cats. You haven't seen a whole lot of ground-based wildlife. There are a few bushes with some flowers on them. A few other bushes with maybe some berries or something. Nothing out of the ordinary. Does that answer your question, Sky? Kind of felt like you were trying to get at something.
I was just trying to discern information.
Gotcha.
He continues to hold the eggs, or while we're looking, he keeps the eggs inside the pond, floating as they go around looking, since they're safe inside the pond.
Okay, that sounds good.
What does everybody want to do now? Because we haven't seen any life, and while we're exploring the island, I'm going to leave the eggs here, just in the water, because it's restorative and healthy for it. From the way you described the magic that it has. Because I don't see carrying around the eggs that can be damaged while we're moving around. They have nothing to carry them in that would keep them safe. And they've been safe for this long.
You want to put them back in the tree, maybe?
Yeah, we can do that. And he asks Guy if he'll float him back up if can.
I am not able to do levitate more than once a day.
Leave him in the pond for the day while we go and do that. And at night, tomorrow morning, put him back up.
That works.
I mean, nothing else is healthy for the egg. And it gives us time to explore this area a little better. In case there's something else here. Because she was here, because the woman we will kill was here, there might have been something in this area that she was looking for
Yeah.
or doing something with.
I'd like to see if I can find an animal that looks like it would be somewhat intelligent-ish.
Okay.
That I can talk to.
Okay, give me a survival check. Okay. You kind of walk out of this little clearing and take 15, 20 feet off into the forest somewhere. And you just kind of close your eyes and listen and use your wilderness attuned senses to find an animal. It doesn't take you long before you're hearing the song of a blue jay. Several blue jays actually. A mated pair and their children in the nest. And you can hear them kind of singing to each other up in the crook of up in a tree in the crook of a branch in this kind of large nest, just kind of sitting there.
I will kneel below or at the foot of the tree, and cast Speak with Animals, and then stay kneeling and call up and ask if someone would please come down and possibly help me.
Okay, it kind of, you see one of the blue jays kind of peek its head over the side of the nest, and look down at you, and then it disappears. And you can hear the kind of chittering between what you would assume to be the two adults, and then one of them kind of and the other one kind of peeks its head over and looks down at you, and one of them kind of flies down and lands, about 5 feet away from you. Just kind of looks up at you, curious, and then takes a couple of tentative hops towards you, and then kind of hops up and lands on your knee. And the other one kind of circles around and lands on the ground again on the other side of you. Kind of takes a couple of tentative hops towards you, and then jumps up and lands on your other shoulder. So you have 2 blue jays that are sitting on you and apparently willing to talk. So what do you want to say?
We are looking for someone that looks similar to me. I kind of point at my ears. That has 2 cats, and I'll take my finger of the arm that is not being used as a perch, and kind of draw a makeshift cat in the ground with 6 sets of legs,
Okay.
and kind of mimic, pulling a bow back, and then point out towards the clearing, and just kind of explain that there was a woman that looked like me, sort of, that harmed some beings out there, and we're trying to discern where she might have gone or when she might have been here. Any help would be much appreciated.
Okay. As you draw the 6-legged cat in the dirt, the one on your shoulder lets out a kind of an angry chirp, and then as you're drawing back the mimicking a bow essentially, they both kind of start to chirp excitedly, and you get kind of a fearful feeling from them. They don't seem to much like the cats or the people with the bows. Or I guess I should say people with bows, because it's not the people, it's just people. I wouldn't want to give you the wrong impression. Um, let's see, how do I do this? Okay, the birds kind of drop down onto the ground right next to each other, and they take turns hopping over each other, going east until they get up to the tree, and then one of them hops over the other and deliberately bumps into the tree.
That's interesting.
All right.
Wait, you did. What was the question you asked? I may have totally given you the wrong answer to that.
That we're trying to find, essentially, that we're trying to find the woman that harmed the dragons.
Okay.
And any help that they could provide would be much appreciated.
Okay, so that answer is accurate.
Um,
It just occurred to me that you might have said something about when, and I was doing a where response,
yeah,
and
I did
that didn't work.
I did say both, like, where she may have gone and when this might have happened, kind of thing. Like,
Gotcha.
because we don't, and time here is, thus far we have figured out that time damn near does not exist. So it like exists all at once and doesn't exist all at once, and it's just really freaking screwy with us at the moment. So, um, then I will try and look through my stuff, look through my rations, and maybe take out a ration. Hopefully, there's like some vegetables in a ration or something, or fruits or something that I can
There
give
would
them
be
as thanks.
probably dried fruits, some nuts, and some dried breads. Like kind of a hardtack kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Probably some dried meats if you're a meat eater.
I am, but I'm guessing that blue jays and outside of worms are probably more of
Yeah.
fruits.
Yeah, probably.
I'll try and break up a ration and try and pick out some fruits or nuts to give them,
Okay. And
and just kind of splay it out in my hands and nod and thank them.
they will gladly take as much as they can, and they kind of fly back. They'll take some and fly up to the nest, and then fly back down and take some more. They'll take all you that you offer, and they'll take it up to the nest, and you can hear that the baby birds up there are definitely getting their fill as well. So. And they kind of, as they take the last of whatever you're offering, they kind of look up at you and give you kind of almost a happy shrill chirp, and then fly it back up to their nest.
And I will return to the rest of the group and explain to them what I found out and what it feels like it sounds is it may have been somebody that either uses trees as a portal or a tree is a secret door to somewhere else.
I'll ask, what tree were they hitting?
Did it just looked like they were hopping over each other to their tree, right? Just more of the fact that it went to a tree.
I'd go and investigate the tree they were hitting.
Yeah, it was more that they were hopping to a tree, not necessarily their tree, because you're like kneeled right in front of their tree. They're not gonna
Yeah,
fly 10 feet over to another tree.
yeah. So I would explain that to Rogar as well. That that they were mimicking what was going on, and they were essentially hopping to the east, and eventually they hit a tree. So it could mean any number of things, but it feels like uh would I know of tree stride?
Just a second. Yes, you know that it is a spell that exists.
A ranger spell. How about that? And it's what's fifth level? I don't have fifth level ranger spells. Then let's say it sounds like they entered entered a tree, possibly as part of a spell, as they were leaving this area towards the east.
Okay.
I don't know the specifics of everything that is involved in that, as I have not trained as a ranger enough to study that spell.
That's understandable. But no clue of why she was here originally.
I'm talking to birds, so
He starts to investigate the area more thoroughly. And you said there was cliffs in this area, that it was like in a bowl.
just that I from where we landed, we're down whatever you flew down as a bat. That's kind of the level we're at.
Yeah, about 75 feet down from the edge above you. Not that you can
Okay.
actually see it because there is a layer of fog between you and it.
Yeah, I'm going to start walking around the that causes 75-foot aspect to see if there's a cave or something not evident that we wouldn't just see.
Okay.
And I tell others what I'm doing because I say she had to be down here for a reason, and she didn't take the gold, so or she didn't take. And you guys say she's powerful, and she didn't take the horde or pay attention to the eggs. So there must have been another reason she was down here.
We have no idea that she's powerful. You're the one that had the vision.
Well, you said you know who she is, or who it
No,
sounds.
no. Said that it sounds like it has a very faint remembrance of Ilaria based on the color of the cats versus the color of the wolves that she had when
Okay.
we knew her. But outside of that, we have no clue.
Well, he is he's going with the least amount of knowledge to at least feel, and not feel that this is who you're talking about, but it's still somebody was down here doing something, and they didn't take the jewelry, and they didn't take the eggs or do anything with the eggs of the dragons, and so there might have been something else here to look for.
Okay, give me a perception check as you wander around looking for a cave um, against the walls.
He may not have um, been able to take the treasure. He might have found it and tried to take it, just as Lazem uh, proved that the treasure just disappeared and either straight out disappeared or disappeared and returned to the stockpile. She may have come specifically to kill the dragons and take the horde, and it was impossible to do so.
Okay, Rogar, which way do you go first? North, south, or straight west?
First, try north.
Okay,
Okay, the closest to the closest actually to the water, and then work my way.
okay, I guess north works. You make your way north. Takes you about, I don't know, 8 or 9 minutes to get to the wall, and you just kind of follow it around to the west and follow it, west and then south and then back to the east, circling it. And as far as you can tell, that there isn't any caves in the walls in that area. This takes you probably hour and a half, 2 hours maybe,
Okay.
and you come back into the the clearing, and yeah, everything is as you left it. Unless everyone else wants to do something in that 2 hours. I mean, for all I know, they like pack up and leave you.
No, I'll just gonna stay and wait for him to get back with any news.
Okay,
I do have a question.
sure.
While I'm walking around and investigating for the caves, do I find any other perches on the trees?
Oh, you mean like the little platforms that these guys are hanging out
Yeah.
on? You see a couple, but like most of the ones that you saw from the clearing, they seem to be in falling apart or not in use, basically.
Okay.
You even notice a few what's the word? Eggshell pieces, kind of rainbow colored eggshell pieces. That's
Yeah.
you know were, used to be an egg, but then hatched or something,
Was eaten.
possibly.
Okay.
Our compatriots, our explorers, doing?
Um, see, Bryn and Aiden are sitting down, backs against a tree, just scribbling away in notebooks. Beetle and Bean are, well, Beetle is very disappointed. Or I guess it's Biddle. Biddle is very disappointed because,
Oh, there's no dragon?
yeah, Bean just kind of doesn't really care. He's just one of those kind of laid back personalities. He's just there to roll with the punches. Nothing kind of phases him. He's just good to go no matter what's going on. And for the most part, the dwarves just basically look bored.
Well, once he gets back, he asks what everybody thinks we should do now.
Um, if we haven't found anything here, then it might be time to try and travel across the island over the course of a couple days. Get to the other interesting points.
Yeah. He agrees. He knows before they leave the island, come back and put the eggs inside the tree.
Okay, about this time, it's about midday or just shortly after. It's like maybe 1 o'clock. Um, do you guys want to leave now, or do you want to head out now, start traveling now, or do you want to hang out here for the night, or what?
What could when I saw that she was killing the dragons? What time of day was it?
It was daylight.
Okay, never mind. It answered your question.
Okay, so you guys want to hang out here for the day, or you want to start traveling now, or what?
Did I notice that there was fog overhead still when that happened?
Yes, there was. The fog is always there. It has not. It has never not been there since you got here.
No, I meant. I know that, but I was seeing if the deaths caused
Oh, gotcha.
change, or if hey, before their death, there was so it might have been something happened between that. You know,
Gotcha. No, the fog is there. Was there, whatever.
Yeah, I think if we're going to spend the day here, may as well just kind of relax around the spring and head off into the forest a little bit to see if kind of sky found the birds is the closest thing, but see if there is any other life around.
has anybody been hurt or anything that needs heal or anything like that? That they can rest in the water.
I don't think we've had any issues like that yet.
My mind hurts trying to figure out this time thing. I don't think the pool's going to help me with that.
Biddle will kind of step forward and put his hand in the water. And you can see that he has a blister in his hand. On his hand. He kind of puts it in the water, and nothing seems to happen at first. So he just kind of holds it there, and over probably 15 minutes or so, the blister slowly shrinks and disappears. And he goes back and he grabs the haft of his axe, kind of gives it a couple of practice swings, and just has a great big smile on his face now.
He chuckles.
And for anyone who is paying attention, you look over and look at the two scholars, Bryn and Aiden. They are snoring away.
All
Naturally.
that hours of studying the.
No, they didn't sleep last night when
Well,
everyone else was sleeping.
I said all those hours of studying finally got to him.
Okay, so what are you guys doing? Just hanging out? You guys wanna?
Yeah, I think just hanging out
Okay, you guys just wanna cut to morning, or
works for me.
Sure, if we're not going to find anything new, unless we find something new because of night.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Blazin?
Let's go.
Okay. So you guys eat dinner, rest during the night, set up your watches. When you wake up in the morning, Bryn and Aiden are back to scribbling in their notebooks, awake and excited again. Biddle and Bean are bored again, just kind of randomly or aimlessly wandering around the clearing. Yeah, you guys are. It's morning. You guys are good to go.
All right.
I'll
I'll
finally pick up the eggs from the water and see how they're doing and put them back on the, since they've been there for so long, put them back up on the fort, the perch.
Okay. They
Oh,
they don't seem any worse for wear, but you have no way of knowing if it sped up their hatch time or not.
I asked if Sky will put me back up there so I can put them up.
I will climb the tree, throw him a rope, and then cast levitate on him and pull him up.
Okay.
And I will put them back where I found them.
And I don't know why, but I'm imagining Sky just kind of taking a leap and jumping on to Rogar's back and riding him down to the ground. I don't know why that image popped into my mind, but
Sure, that'll work.
I will. He got me up there and down there. Rogar has no issue.
I will pack up and wait for everyone else to get ready, and then say that we should head out because it seems like it'll be a couple days to get over to the Rhyme Guard.
We'll gladly start to move and follow.
okay, who's gonna lead this crew?
Okay, man.
Okay, go ahead and give me a survival check.
I'll help. Not the leading, but paying attention to the area.
Okay. You guys start out by heading northeast from the pond. Going slow. Again, you're not seeing much in the way of ground critters. Pretty much pretty much the only ones you've seen that are actually on the ground are the axebeak and the six-legged cat. Everything else has been flying or in the trees. You make your way about 3/4 the day with the belief that you're heading northeast. When you guys come out of the trees and there is suddenly a wall in front of you. You still have about I don't know, say 4 hours left of travel time if you wanted.
How long does this wall look to the north, and how long does it look to the east?
As far as you can
Or
see.
what?
This wall goes north and south as far as you can see. It looks like it slants a little more towards the east as you go north.
We may as well keep going as far as we can before nightfall and find a place to camp.
How tall is this wall?
75 feet.
Yeah, it's the edge of
We've
the
done
island.
this 20 times.
Sorry, my mind just went blank. Sorry. He follows what the group is. He keeps looking at the wall though.
Yeah, it's the edge of the island.
Okay.
So our intent was to go northeast, but instead we went almost straight east. Is that what I'm getting from that?
Pretty much.
But now
Okay.
it should be easy enough to just follow the wall to the east.
Yeah.
And I'll suggest that.
He smiles, nods, says, "Okay."
Think about it like this, Kenny. Um, not using color specific, but um, pink is us, purple is the island, green is the water. So we landed, came down 75 feet, and there might be rocky terrain, there might be trails, there might be whatever is down here, but essentially the wall on all sides of this island
Gotcha.
is approximately 75 feet up.
Gotcha. Great Wall of China all the way around the wall.
Yeah,
All the way around the island.
Yes, and
basically.
that is your layer of fog. All the way around. Or basically everywhere down here.
So does that mean that our compass isn't working?
Does anyone have a compass?
I thought the researchers had a compass.
They have a map. They do not have a compass. At least not one that they've shown you. I mean, sky is kind of like a living compass most of the time.
Often.
I mean, he usually, those who are decent with survival usually know what side of trees moss grows on. Which I, as the DM, don't know because I am not a wilderness person. I know
It
that it
wouldn't
grows on one
matter.
side, but
Yeah, it doesn't matter if there's no moss on the trees.
This is very true.
Um, yeah. However, Sky usually takes up the rear, so doesn't really help. Bad scout. And as an added bonus, the compendium doesn't know what a compass is, so good chance none of us do either.
Maybe the Faerun doesn't have a magnetic north and south like we do.
That'd be weird.
They've got a treasure compass. Follow the treasure compass.
It is a fantasy world, Bo. They don't have to follow our physics. I mean, they got dragons. And whole islands that extend beyond the, or below the sea level, and God knows what else.
I wish
Magic.
dragons would show themselves to us on Earth.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Reign of Fire? I don't want dragons to show themselves.
That was awesome.
Was.
Okay, so you guys have about 4 hours. You guys going to continue going?
Yeah,
I'm assuming
I
just
will.
north along the wall.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, by the end of the day, you guys end up here. Um, it's been a long day. Bryn and Aiden are starting um, to show their lack of field experience. They are very much the slowest members of the party and seem to be slowing more as night or as sun starts to set.
AFK.
Okay. It is actually 7 o'clock, so I'll go ahead and take a quick break.
Works for me.
All right.
Hey, can people hear me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Meow.
Woof woof.
Burp.
I was woofing, or I guess barking in response to the meow. Because I was just about to say something and I heard meow. So I decided to bark instead.
This is the effect I have on people.
Better than being just ignored.
Like that means we're all here.
That's an interesting theory, Sky. The Deep Gnomes, Drow, and the Duergar mined the magnet out of the center of Toril to make it their
The
home.
Underdark.
Yes. So compasses, if they ever worked, or if they ever invented, no longer work. And that works for me.
And on the fantasy basis, maybe having a magnet is what keeps all of us human, and why we don't have fantastical races on Earth.
Because the magnetic field on our planet stops it from happening?
Yep, the turning of the planet. We just never realized that.
Sure, why not? We can go with that. Okay, so you guys are stopping for the night. With your scholarly group mates, I guess. Party members. Really dragging and obviously exhausted. They're very obviously not used to field work. They kind of slump down against the wall, kind of with their packs off to the sides. Bryn kind of lays over and using her pack as a pillow, kind of stretches out a little bit. And before you guys even get settled, you can already hear her snoring. And a couple minutes later, Aiden follows suit, starts snoring as well, just leaning back against the wall. So what you guys doing?
And we'll join them in sleeping against the wall there for the night.
Okay. Are you gonna do any hunting, Sky, or cooking up? Any of
I
the
think we,
leftovers or anything?
yeah, I'll cook up the leftovers. I think we got plenty of back speak.
Yeah, probably. Um, I'm thinking you probably didn't really have to go for that third one.
No,
But
I was kind of hoping for something other than axe beak,
ah,
and and since there's no like rabbits and small animals that we've seen yet, yeah, guess we'll be having axe beak for a while.
Or we could have
Yeah, I guess.
six-legged cat. Don't know how that'll taste.
you could try.
I I feel like that one's going to be a little more of a challenge than the axe beak.
To kill or
Yeah,
okay. You
two-legged giant chicken versus a six-legged cat.
Mhm.
I just feel like might take a little more than me.
Yeah, could be. Um, only thing I was thinking of is, and this is out of context, but uh, if you look at some of the old American Indian stories, um, some of them, like the Cheyenne uh, and the Apache, thought that some of the best meat out there was panther meat. It was even better than horse. So I guess what I'm saying is it might be tasty. You never know.
I like Chinese food.
Well, that's
And
more likely to be
if we're
dog or
going,
cat.
yeah, cat. Panther's a cat. I mean, it's a big cat versus a house cat, but there's a good chance that I've probably eaten house cat somewhere along the lines by some of these dollar scoop places.
Yeah, probably so.
You think so?
In Denver, I think there's a very good chance.
You get out of this country, I'd say there's a really good chance.
Yeah, I would definitely think so. Out of the country, but I don't know. In the country, I have trouble believing that you'd get dog or cat. Because even if they're run by someone from those countries, they still have to have food suppliers. Which,
Well,
Backyard.
it's not exactly the same thing, but uh, there have been several cases I've read about in our lifetime where there were people arrested. Uh, I think it was in New York and Baltimore, I believe, for serving horse meat instead of beef.
hmm,
So,
you would think it'd be cheaper to serve the beef.
um, I don't know.
I don't know. I
I'd kind of like to try it, but you know,
yeah.
I'm not so sure the horses would think much of that.
I wouldn't mind trying it sometime, but I don't know.
Or the cows don't like the fact that they get eaten, but
Yeah,
muscle.
yeah. Well, you know, a staple in this country, of course, is beef, but I like buffalo. It's
Definitely.
I'm not
it's.
sure I've had it.
Uh, I don't know whether you have or not.
Buffalo is good.
Mm. Yeah, there was a place in Ogallala that served it. Advertised it as as buffalo, but that was before you were with us.
I know a
So
lot in Oklahoma. There's a place that's right over by there that sells it.
yeah, and I would imagine if you really were interested, you could buy a side of buffalo or maybe even the whole creature already butchered up for you, because there's a buffalo preserve, I guess, up north of uh, uh, it's north on the way to Denver. You go off east there at I think it's Happy Canyon Road,
Hmm.
and there's a buffalo ranch over in there.
There's a butcher in Wheat Ridge that they every so often they have buffalo, but
Okay.
uh they'll do cow, they'll do lamb, they'll do um pig, whatever, and they
Yeah.
sell it for like the whole pig or a half pig or a
Yeah.
quarter of a cow and so on and so forth. They'll butcher it up and you'll get really good prices because you're getting it right from the butcher instead of
Yeah.
store.
And here in Colorado Springs, there's a butcher that does that with only with beef, lamb, and pork. And his selling point is that you get the whole animal, so you get, the expensive cuts along with the cheaper ones. And he cuts it up, wraps it, and freezes it for you. So all you got to do is drive up and put the boxes in your car and go.
With my luck, I'd do that for buffalo and I spend like the $1,000, whatever it is, and then I wouldn't like it.
Uh,
Oh no,
I
Buffalo's good.
I think you'd like it.
Oh well.
Tastes like cow, except that it's more tender.
It's also a little bit sweeter, not much, and the the flesh has very little fat in it. There's a little bit of marbling, but not near as much as there is with beef.
So it's drier.
Let's get this thing. What am I doing? Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the game, because talking about all this meat's making me hungry. And there is no way I'm going to get a steak for dinner. Okay, do you guys have leftovers? Um, who's taking first watch? Or who's taking watches, I guess.
I'll take last as usual.
I'll do the first one.
Okay.
I'll take whatever one that needs to be taken if one does.
Okay.
The middle one.
Okay, I'll take the middle one.
Okay, Ariana, give me your perception check.
19.
19? Nice. Okay, um, first half of your watch is fairly quiet. Um, about halfway through, though, um, you are just kind of casually strolling around camp, just trying to keep yourself awake, and you hear a sudden deep growl, and then um, a surprised squawk, and kind of a shriek of death as kind of off in the distance, probably 100 feet away or so. And, as those noises occur, the all the wildlife in the trees just kind of go silent for, about a minute. And then it slowly kind of picks back up. And the wildlife goes back to making its noises, and the rest of your watch is quiet.
Said it was like 100 feet away.
Yeah, probably about 100 feet to the northwest.
So here in the middle.
Yeah, that'll work.
It's not quite that far, but all right, then I will head over and wake up Rogar.
He'll tap. Or how are you gonna wake me up?
I'll head over to wherever you're laying and kind of shake on your shoulder.
He'll wake up gradually and nod and say thanks and walk over to the fire and warm up a little bit, make sure it's stoked, and then get ready for his shift once he's awake. What would you like me to do?
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
I'm learning slowly. See how badly it is.
16's not too bad.
Okay, I finally got a good one.
Depending on, of course, on what happens or what's
Well,
happening.
okay, compared to the 9, 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotcha. Let's see here. What happens? Okay. Rogar. I keep wanting to call you Verheis.
Hey, I've been good this time.
I know, but Verheis is dead. I gotta remember that. It's Rogar. And then I'm gonna have to remember a new set of names for the Friday game. Oy. I'm having a hard enough time remembering names on this game and the Sunday game.
I know how you can fix that.
Hmm.
Put turn order and just go through the turn order.
No. That would get old. I mean, I have your names down at the bottom, which is why I have them down there, so I can look and remember them.
Okay.
That's why I made sure you guys put your names on the display name. Okay, for the most part, your watch is pretty quiet. Um, you're just kind of wandering around the perimeter of the camp, just kind of trying to keep yourself awake. It's boring. You know, there's not much to do. Um, during your wanderings, um, you have walked past this one tree a number of times, and as you do, you kind of um, the lowest branches are kind of low enough that you're able to reach out and touch them. So as you're walking over the roots, you kind of reach up and just kind of grab the branch, and just kind of a balance thing. It's not really necessary, but you know, it's just there. Might as well do it, type of thing. And each time you pass that tree, you do the same thing. And just as your watch is about to end, there are two birds that fly up out of that tree. Two little birds, um, about the size of a blue jay. I don't know. Let's have blue jays on the brain. And they just kind of start flying around your head, chittering at you very angrily.
I'm trying not to laugh. Hmm. Since I don't have talk to animals, I shake my head, look for something to put over it, just so if they crap, I don't get hit or crap on my head, and just keep looking for other things while these two bicker.
Okay. They kind of fly around your head every now and then. They kind of dive bomb and scratch at you with their talons, but your scales are too thick for them to do anything more than just scratch you. Just like you're scratching an itch type thing. And yeah, your watch comes to an end as these things are attacking your head.
I walk over, wake the next person up, but as I do, I also pick up my bow and give them a look.
Yeah, they get more angry. Sky, you wake up as hearing these two very angry bluebirds chirping very angrily at Rogar and circling his head and dive bombing his head, and yeah,
And I'm over here laughing the entire time.
yeah, they can't hurt you in any way.
I will go and put my hand on Rogar's bow and kind of push it down and look over at the birds and shake out that rest of that ration and try and pull out some more nuts and berries and stuff and kind of put them in my hand, kind of offer them up to them.
Okay.
Try and look apologetic.
They continue to dive bomb Rogar's head for another few moments, and then um, after a moment or two, kind of circling you, one of them kind of lands on your fingertips and jumps off again real quick, and then a moment later comes back. and tentatively steals a piece of food. And the other one kind of comes back and steals a piece of food. And they both fly off to their nest. Or their tree. And that's the last you see of them. Unless you go looking.
No, not particularly.
He thanks him and laughs. And shrugs like, I don't know what happened. I'm just still laughing.
Well, you pissed him off some way or another.
Won't be the first time, won't be the last time. Still funny. He goes to lay down and get some sleep. Covering his face just in case they do set a crap on him.
Okay. Sky, go ahead and give me your perception check and go ahead and give me stealth because we all know you're going to.
Guy's gonna stealth while on watch.
I know, right? It's the first time he's ever done that.
First time ever.
Okay, Sky, you kind of do your, walk around the perimeter and then kind of walk into the tree line and fade from sight. Um, so where are you located when you do your stealth thing? What direction are
Probably,
you from camp?
is there any trees like right next to the wall? Or they, or are we kind of more along the lines of,
Sorry, I accidentally hit mute. Can you repeat that?
are we, the purple that I drew on the thing, is the tree line more like that, or is this tree, or are there trees right up against the wall?
Um, there's some places where the trees are like literally growing out of the bottom of the wall, but for the most part, there's usually like a 2 or 3 foot gap between the wall and the trees.
Yeah. I'm trying to pick a somewhat sturdy tree near the wall, and I'll climb up it and kind of use the leaves as canopy and try and stay real still next to the trunk and just kind of watch out over with the wall to my back. Kind of looking and twisting my head, but pretty much more looking towards the northwest and then left and right from there.
Okay. Um, Okay. During your watch, it starts to rain a bit. It's not coming down particularly hard, but it's definitely raining. Um, and you're about 3 hours into your watch with this kind of soaking rain just falling all around you. Um, the fire has pretty much died down to embers, and the rest of the party has woken up a number of times to kind of pull blankets and things over them to try and stay as dry as possible. Um, and you're about 3/4 of the way through your shift when you're starting to feel the fatigue of sitting in one spot and staying as silent as possible, and just the fatigue of boredom, essentially. But of course, you are a professional, so. But you are continuing to keep an eye out when you hear this very low growl. And it is extremely close. And you kind of stop and listen for a moment. You hear it again. And your eyes very slowly look down. And right below you is this massive six-legged cat. I mean, we're talking like 10 feet below you.
Color.
Black. Well, dark purple. Almost black. If you were to drop something, it would land on this cat.
Guess I should probably not drop something. Um,
That's up to you. Well, hopefully up to you. Or the dice. Depending on what you do. So, just to give you some idea of I guess closeness. The cat's about 10 feet below you, and the rest of the party, the camp, is probably about maybe 20 feet in front of you. And you are the only one awake, as would be normal for being on watch. So what you gonna do?
Didn't somebody have a warding something or something like that? Oh, no, another game. Never mind.
we have. Looking.
I'm sorry?
So we the campfire's going and like the cat's watching the campfire and the people.
Now, due to the rain, the campfire is kind of down to embers. So,
Okay.
um, pretty much the only reason you can see is with your dark vision. I mean, there's just like a very faint glow to the fire. But the cat
I guess
is...
we will
Go ahead.
see how smart these cats are, and who knows if this is the same cat or not. But we'll see how this turns out. We'll do the same thing we did 2 nights ago. I'll do darkness the uh on one of the logs that are still somewhat burning ish in the pit.
Okay, so you're gonna do darkness on the camp
Yep.
this time. Okay.
And I'll
Okay.
just sit and watch and see what happens.
Okay. As the darkness suddenly appears, um, you can see the cat kind of flinch, and you see it kind of look back and forth, and it appears, obviously it seems to be confused, and it just um, kind of sits, kind of crouches low with its feet in tucked up underneath it, and wraps its tail around behind it. Kind of like a house cat does when it's um, what's the word? Stalking something,
Yep.
and it just kind of tucks its feet away and just kind of sits there watching, trying to figure out what just happened. And it continues to sniff at the air. How long does this spell last?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay. And it continues to sniff at the air. Um, Confused because it can smell these creatures, but they just disappeared. And it kind of takes a few steps forward, sniffing again. And kind of stops and lowers itself again. It's kind of looking around. And its head kind of suddenly snaps to the right for a moment. And it kind of slowly backs up about 15 feet or so before it turns around and slinks away.
Did it have any from and obviously 2 nights ago I saw it from side view versus top down, but did it have any distinguishing marks that I could tell, like if it was a different cat or the same that I saw 2 nights ago?
Um, no, it didn't really have any distinguishing marks. They were both, um, just very dark purple, almost black. They didn't have any like white marks or anything like that. It
No
could have been the
limp,
same cat.
no scar, nothing that stood out.
Hmm.
Trying to determine if I should be worried, if I would think that this I guess maybe I don't know if insight would work on this or not, but
Yeah, go ahead and give me an insight check.
trying to figure out if this is a
Something
different
happened.
cat and they're just kind of all over the island, or if it is
You're
a
being
cat that
stalked.
is specifically stalking our group.
Okay, give me an insight check. Let's see what that does for you. Okay. Neither one of your encounters with this creature or these creatures, I guess. Take it either way. Um, had any distinguishing marks of any kind or distinguishing features. However, the reaction to the darkness from the first encounter and the reaction to darkness from this encounter kind of implies that this one has seen this happen before and wasn't quite as scared of it. Was more curious about what happened as opposed to oh my god, part of the world just disappeared kind of thing. So you can make assumptions from that as you deem fitness, as you wish to, I guess.
Sounds good.
Just out of curiosity, what assumptions are you making? Or are you going to tell the party?
I will tell the party.
Okay. Then I will wait. Um, yeah, a few moments later, your spell ends. Um, the darkness kind of slowly fades away, and your watch comes to an end as the sun starts to come up.
Is it still raining, or?
Yes, it is still. It's not really pouring, but it's definitely that soaking drizzle.
I got a question. How do you whisper the DM if whisper is not on your?
You can do /W space DM space and then type your message. There should be a macro down there at the bottom, though.
It's not. I've been looking for it for a couple days now, and
No.
it isn't.
Well, you
I think
can.
it's a character.
You might have to put it on your macro bar up in the macro list, or you can just message me in Discord. If you message me in Discord, you're a lot less likely to accidentally send it to the party.
I'll do it.
That's what I love. Yeah, I love doing that because it's easier than accidentally doing that, and it's also easier to just get everything correctly and find it later if you need to.
Yeah. And Sky and I tend to talk a lot during games. I don't know how much he talks to others, but he and I definitely talk a lot.
He
Okay.
sends me messages sometimes.
Typically funny one-off crappy jokes. All right, so probably too much wetness to try and get this fire redundant.
Give me just a second here. Sorry. Okay. What was it you said, Sky? Something about the
I
rain, I
was
think.
just curious if I could get the fire going again, or if it was too damp from the rain from the last however long to even try.
Yeah, you could probably stir it up and throw some more logs on it and get it going. It's not going to be a roaring fire, but you could probably get something going.
Then I would try and get it started back up, and then I'll uh go around and wake everybody up.
Okay. Everyone wakes up and everyone's kind of miserable because you wake up and you got a face full of water and everything's kind of drenched and no matter which way you're looking, it's just water, water everywhere.
I loves it.
My guy loves it only because the birds aren't picking him. And he can't.
As everybody comes to, I will try and get everybody's attention and say, so uh, outside of some birds that someone look over at the Dragonborn pissed off last night.
He shrugs like, "What did I do?"
We had another visit from the six-legged cat. Um, pretty sure it's the same one. And given the current situation of 2 nights ago, it came in investigating. If it is the same cat, it was here again last night. And given looks back over at Rogar,
Rogar
the
nods as
the
he's
the
seeing where he's
vision.
going.
Sorry, what?
He's nodding as he thinks he knows where this is going.
Um, based on the vision of the six-legged cat in with the elven woman, it starting to feel really altogether.
I ask, is there any way that we could track it? Not if it's hey, let's go look at it. I know it's rained. I'm talking about to where like a warding or some form of spell that if it does come again and you're able to, we're not attacked by it, that we can after the fact, hey, we know where he went.
It depends on a lot of things, but the basic answer is no.
Okay.
If I can see the cat from a distance, I have a way to track it. If it is 10 feet away from me, it will not be speaking, and I have to speak to cast my spell.
Okay.
Don't want to alert it that you hear.
I would rather keep you all from getting attacked than it surprising any of us.
How did you scare it away?
Same thing as I did 2 nights ago. I popped up um I popped up a spell and that I know innately, and it did not like that spell.
Okay.
Trying not to lead on that which spell it is.
That I got the idea. That's why I'm like, okay, I don't mind any further talk that he would have.
Would you like to go try and spend some time searching for it? See if it's still around somewhere? Or should we just continue on for the day and see how it is tomorrow night?
And continue on and see how it is tomorrow night. Try and maybe get a little more cover. See if it
Anybody
really is
proficient in
tracking us.
traps?
What was that, Kenny?
Anybody proficient in traps?
I could maybe rig something up.
I mean, Uriana's a tinker. Sky's a ranger. They would both,
Lazum's part rogue.
yeah. So they would all three be able to do something
Okay.
with traps.
Yeah.
When he says I can probably, and I said I also suggest setting up a trap tonight just in case, because from what you say, he got off the cat got awfully close to us.
Maybe we should come up with some sort of perimeter alarm.
Yeah,
I can definitely work on that tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Or sorry, tonight.
and he says, "Are we ready to go then?" He's looking around. He's paying more attention to the surroundings now.
Yeah, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, Aiden and Bryn are still out cold. Biddle and
Oh,
Dean are sitting next to the fire, listening to your conversation, and snacking on some of the leftovers from last night. You're just kind of eating a kind of a makeshift breakfast. It's not really anything prepared. It's just kind of whatever's there. Like eating the leftover pizza from last night for breakfast kind of thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. I think we should probably wake the two scientists and make sure that they do have some breakfast because they're already exhausted. If they don't get some calories, they're going to be just really dragging by the end of the day.
Yeah, and they completely slept through dinner. So
Definitely, they need food.
we I tap him. I tapped the two and on the feet to wake him up and offer them meal.
Bryn kind of jumps, but Aiden very reluctantly just kind of grumbles and gets to his feet and kind of wrings out the hem of his shirt before just dragging his pack through the mud over to the campfire, where he kind of sits and warms his hands a little bit and then starts trying to get some food. And Bryn just kind of jumps a little as you kick her foot, and she gets up and kind of tries to fix her hair so she's not doesn't look like an unkempt whatever. And she just kind of pats down
Hey,
her hair and kind of tries to straighten out her clothes and everything, but she just looks like a drowned rat. And she kind of picks up her pack and slowly moves over next to the fire with Aiden and tries to get some food as well. And the two of them are very happy to be eating at the moment.
After everybody eats, I'm gonna make sure I do a double check. Try picking up the camp a little more thoroughly, not leaving anything out.
Yeah, the researchers didn't even pull anything out. Um, they literally fell asleep on top of their packs from, when they dropped them. Biddle and Bean are their experience with being out in the wild, so they didn't leave anything behind either.
And I also collect the food and everything. I just doing that double extra where eh, it won't entice anybody to come and then follow if there is.
Oh, okay, you clean up the camp really well.
I'm ready to go.
Do we tell our scientists that what we suspect, or just leave them in the dark so they don't get all crazy about it?
Let's leave them in the dark with as tired as they are and see if they can, rest somehow.
Yeah. Last thing we need is to, if it's nothing, to worry somebody over something.
Yeah.
When I mentioned the dragons near the enchanted pond, she got very worried. So
Okay, the scholars and dwarves are ready to go whenever you guys are. Aiden just kind of picks his backpack up and still got mud dripping off it as he straps it over his back. Just got this
I
mud rolling down the backs of his legs.
I try to keep the goblins in the center of the group a little more thoroughly.
Goblins?
goblins.
Sure.
You mean the scholars?
Scholars, yeah.
Scientists, whatever?
Yeah.
Okay. Not really sure where goblins came from, but we'll go with it.
I don't know.
Better be careful, or we're gonna find out they're goblins in disguise. Just like my
That's what you just said, so that's what my mind.
scholars is what I said.
Oh,
Um, Earlier, my dad and I were talking about, while we were on break, my dad and I were talking about the whole six-legged cat thing. He's like, "Yeah, I know. If I'm not careful, they're gonna evolve, and they're gonna have 8 legs, and they're gonna be walking on ceilings and walls." I was like, "Well, 8 legs is probably too many. 6 is plenty." And kind of stayed quiet for a little bit, and I was like, "Walking on ceilings and walls sounds interesting." And he was just like, "Okay, I gotta go."
Those moments when you speak out loud and then you realize, oh, shit, I just gave the DM an idea.
why is it all of a sudden I'm seeing half dead cats?
Half dead cats.
Yeah, okay. Tomorrow's game. I'm always walking on the wall.
Oh, gotcha.
Or sorry, ceiling.
Cats walking on the ceiling, half vampire cats. That would be interesting, but
Oh, I found some stuff and oh yeah.
great.
I I found a Reddit earlier this week and I was like, oh wow, that makes so much sense. I could work with that.
Oh boy.
Horrific.
Are you gonna give us any more details?
I'm gonna whisper oh right now.
Oh, great. Thanks.
He's not in the
Yeah,
game.
not a problem.
Okay.
You can tell me everything.
Yeah. Oh, have you seen my new chosen character? Yeah. Class, rather?
I have not, no.
Oh, you should send him that too, Sky, since you have the newest version.
I shall.
Tell me what you think of it so far, Bo. I know it's not complete, but I'm happy with the melee and with the utility one. Well, I've got like 90% finished with the utility one. I haven't really touched the caster one yet, though. So, but anyway,
Sounds good.
okay, back to the game. You guys are getting ready to leave camp. You guys gonna how you guys gonna do this?
Uh, I'll lead like normal, and I'll just follow, keeping the wall here pretty close to the right, and just follow it along for the day, and try and get most of the way toward this spot where her grandfather said he encountered the weird building room a couple times.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a survival check there, Bo.
Yeah, so
Iriana.
survival.
Nice.
Nice. Okay. You continue to follow the wall up towards the north, and east. Um, the going is slow and miserable in this rain, and it continues just this drenching, slow drizzle um, for the rest of the day. Um, Twice while you guys are walking, Sky, you are actually visited by several more small birds. Um, I don't want to keep saying blue jay, but for some reason that's the only bird I can think of at the moment. Robin. That'll work.
Sparrow, robins.
Sparrow, Finks.
Thank you. Sparrows and robins. Um,
Tweety birds.
I think that's canary, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't know why that just popped in my head. No, couldn't think of it 30 seconds ago. Um, so, both a sparrow and a robin at different times comes over and kind of circles around you, curious at first, and then the the sparrow lands on your shoulder and just kind of chirps in your ear as you guys are walking. It doesn't really seem to be expecting any kind of response. It just chirps away in your ear. And after you travel for, I don't know, do you want to do anything with that?
I will take that same ration that I've been kind of breaking apart and try and feed them and stuff.
Okay.
Taking it out of my inventory, but I figured that
I understand.
A ration that will last me a full day probably will last a billion birds.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's fine. Um, okay, the bird happily takes a few nuts from you, maybe a couple of a dried berry or something, and um, happily gobbles it down. Well, it just sits here on your shoulder, chirping away. And after you guys have traveled maybe an hour or so, it just kind of gives you kind of a soft trill, and then flies off. And maybe another 45 minutes or so later, a sparrow comes and just kind of lands on top of your head. And well, you're not opposed to having animals, talk to you when you want to, or animals being friendly to you when you aren't being particularly hostile towards them. This is a little unusual for you to have birds just volunteer to land on you if you're not, specifically trying to get their attention. And it's a little unusual, and the sparrow just kind of um, lands on your head, just kind of burrows down into your hair, and just kind of sits there, just like riding you like a like a horse, I guess, for you know a good hour and a half before it kind of stands up and kind of you know kind of paws at your hair like a cat does, kind of kneading the dough kind of thing, and then lifts off and flies away. No apparent reason for these birds doing this at all. It's just out of nowhere. Unless, of course, you want to talk to one of them.
Yeah, the last last one that did this, that was this sparrow that was on me for like an hour and a half. I'd say about the like hour point, I'll go ahead and cast speak with animals and kind of, are you cozy up there? Do you need any food? Can I help you with anything?
Oh, when you ask if
No,
it's
speak in Sylvan, but kind of, you know, do little hand gestures to try and give it something to, see and figure out.
okay, when you ask if it's cozy, it kind of burrows down a little, kind of um, rubs itself back and forth, kind of burrowing down into your hair a little bit more. You kind of get the impression that yeah, it's cozy. Um, and when you ask about food, it kind of pecks at your head a little bit. Um, and yeah, you kind of think it'll take food. It won't argue with food. What was the other question?
I can do anything for it, or kind of trying to, since the reason that all of these birds are being extremely friendly.
Mm, you don't get the sense that it needs anything in particular.
Okay.
Um, Give me an insight check. Very good. Um, Especially if it's a +0. That it's a +0, right?
That's a 6.
Oh, sorry, I'm blind. Um, Yeah, I was thinking, how are you getting 23 with a plus 0? But anyway, ignore me. Um, the impression is that you get from it isn't so much that it's um, wanting anything from you, so much as it's doing what it's told.
Interesting. Dr. Jones. I will ask as best as I can, or describe best as I can, um, who it is serving.
Okay. Give me another insight check.
It's only going to last so long.
That's a 9.
9.
Okay. For some reason I couldn't tell if that was a 9 or a 0. And again, with the plus 6, I'm like, how the hell did you get a 0? Anyway. Um, when you ask who it's serving, the response you get isn't so much a description as it gets very agitated, and um, you can sense this very palpable wave of fear from it.
The two that I will hand up more. I'm doing. I don't have a camera going, but I'm actually doing it while I'm talking. But hand up above my head. More little berries and stuff.
I do that all the time too. I can't tell you how often I'll sit here and gesture with my fingers or my hands or something, trying to explain something with gestures, and be like, "Did that help?"
Yeah. I grabbed it out of the middle of my keyboard, put it above my head, and I'm like, wait, what? Why am I? Y'all can't see me. Yeah.
um,
Say it and just kind of say it's okay. It's okay. I don't need to know.
it does calm down a little, but it doesn't take the food from you. As a matter of fact, that's when it kind of stands and does the pawing at your head again, and then flies off.
Okay.
And about the time that ends, um, it's about lunchtime, so you guys could stop for lunch and talk if you wanted to, or continue going and talk, or not talk at all. Whatever.
Should tell it to take us to its leader.
I was thinking
Take me to your leader.
we normally don't stop, keep right on going through lunch. But with our civilian party with us, maybe they need to stop and have some rest. It'd probably be easier on them.
That might be good for them.
Yeah, so we could take maybe a half hour or something just to rest a bit.
Makes sense. Your bird visitors did not go unnoticed by Bryn and Aiden, by the way. They definitely noticed, and they took copious notes.
I was laughing.
I'll go kneel by a tree while we're taking our little break and kind of give a prayer to Maliki. And just kind of, think thoughts of the birds and the six-legged cat and trying to figure out what's going on here. Time does not seem to affect this island in ways that it should. Um, I have reached out to some of your some of your realms, some of your creatures to try and help us. I'm getting some weird feelings about this island and about a cat that's possibly stalking us. And just today, birds started following us, landing on me, which doesn't typically happen, and trying to figure out what everything has to do with everything else, or if I'm just looking into this too much.
Okay, give me a religion check. Very good. Okay, you guys all feel that familiar um, pressure or tension that comes when communicating with the deity. And Sky, you specifically, your head begins to, you get kind of lightheaded and your head starts to swim, and um, you kind of almost feel like you're about to pass out. You kind of reach your hand out to balance yourself against the tree, and some images flash through your mind. Um, Be right back. Of course, he leaves now. Um, you see an image. It's just like a snapshot of the picture that I just posted for Rogar. You see that same image, um, and it looks almost identical to Ilaria, except your memory of Ilaria, she always had a look of kindness in her face, and the look in the eyes of this person, you recognize it very well. It's the look of a cold-blooded killer. Um, you recognize it very well from your past.
So more like a Raya.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, she had the very same look, very similar look. Cold-blooded killer. Um, but it very much looks like Ilaria, but it you know just not the same presence,
Demeanor.
demeanor. That'll work too. Um, another flash, another image flashes in your head of um, her kneeling in front of this dark purple cat, almost black, and just kind of scratching it under its chin. Her other arm draped over an identical cat, only the other cat is stark white. And then another image flashes in your mind of her um, talking to a robin. And this one is actually more of a short clip as opposed to a snapshot. You can see her um, silently casting a spell on this robin, and then the robin flying away. And as you are a ranger, you know this spell very well. It is Hunter's Mark. And then the images fade from your mind, and um, you take a couple of deep breaths, and your mind kind of, or your head kind of clears a little bit. And um, Iriana and Rogar are kind of looking back and forth between each other and at you, because you are the three divine casters in the group. So the three of you recognize the feeling of divine presence, but none of you are quite sure where it came from. Well, at least Rogar and Iriana aren't at the moment. So they're kind of looking back and forth, and Sky,
Who is it? Who did it?
and Sky, yeah, you hear Iriana saying that as your head clears.
Well, I've got bad news, and I've got worse news. Whatever's
What's the
going,
bad news?
whatever's going on here is definitely has something to do with that elf that Rogar described, and the two cats. Um, she looked very similar to Ilaria, but she had a look upon her face like we have seen only on Araya many, many times. Um, that's the bad news. The worst news is she knows we're here and she's tracking us using birds to do her bidding. So the next bird that does try that, I will go ahead and do a hunter's mark on it, or I will cast one of my spells on it and see if I can track it back to her.
Sounds like a plan. Um, White,
Yes.
who ended up with Ilaria's weapon? I know I was carrying it for a while, but I remember giving it to someone.
I
I
believe
think
right
it was
now
Rogar.
Rogar has it.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember if it was Rogar.
Was it the
Uh,
Heiress?
yeah. But I just couldn't remember if I'd given it to Rogar last or to what's his name? The other one.
Wort.
Hort, yeah.
Oh, that's a good question, actually.
So I know we gave it to Ort in the forest, but then I think we also gave it to Rogar in the at the Master's house.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it would to Rogar.
I'm pretty sure it went to Rogar. I don't remember him interacting with it, though. If he did, I don't remember what the conversation was about.
No, I haven't heard that. I didn't even know I was carrying one of their weapons, so.
Then maybe it didn't go to Rogar at all, and it was Ort.
Well, if it went to Ort before he left or disappeared or whatever, you got it back, because you guys are not losing that to a character who left. I'm sorry. That was like a plot item.
Yeah, it's
So,
a plot item with plot armor.
yes, it is. If it's not in your inventory, um, Rogard, then Iriana has it.
What am I looking for?
Um, it's an item called Nemorm Harris. It's a bunch of alphabet soup with a bunch of apostrophes in it. Starts with an N, ends with an S.
No, on either one of my things.
Okay, then you have it,
That's the name.
Iriana.
All right,
Yeah, that's
I
the name.
will write that down. I do have the Journal of the Dawn Blaze written down, but I didn't have Noirm Harris written down.
Okay, then I guess Ort had it still, which that's my bad. I apologize.
In that case, I will pull it out. And do I need to be attuned to it to reach out to Ilaria?
I don't believe so.
Like, it is an attunement weapon, but
Yeah, I believe
I can't remember.
you have to be attuned to it for it to form into the weapon of your your preferred weapon.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you have to be attuned to talk to her.
Right. All right. So I will kind of pull out into reach deep into my bags and kind of carefully pull out Namoram Harris and kind of look at Bryn and Aiden and everyone else and say this might shed a little bit of light. And then I will ask Hilaria if she recognizes this place.
I'm looking at what he's pulling out, going, huh?
What you actually see, it looks like a metal rod. It's about 3 feet long, and it basically just looks like a metal rod. It's shiny and looks to be very expertly crafted, but that's that's all it looks like at the moment.
Okay.
Um, and Irana, in your mind, she'll say, Um, I can't say that I've ever visited this location.
I will kind of describe the location of the island and mention that Sky and Rogar here, who you haven't met, have had visions of a creature that looks very much like you running around with some native plants.
Sounds like an interesting mystery, but um, I have no recollection of visiting this island you speak of. And um, if my predecessor did visit this island, she never um, referred to it in her journals. Which, if you remember, um, the sword only has information that was left in the journals of the different Dawnblade members. I mean, it's
Yeah.
essentially modeled after Ilaria. Wait, the Journal of the Dawnblade was from the Dawnblade members. This is just Ilaria's knowledge up until she was killed. I got that backwards. Sorry. So forget the part about the journal. Um,
Yeah.
to my knowledge, I have never visited here. To my recollection.
Did you have any siblings or relatives that looked similar?
My father always told me I looked like my mother, but she died long before I did. Give me a second here.
All right.
Yes, the sword has its own character sheet. There are ways that this person could look like me without being me.
Yeah, there are various uh,
Certainly various with disguise.
conjuration transformation magics.
Though, to my memory, um, Oriah was much more direct than to use such subtle means.
Illusion or transmutation is what I meant.
Yeah. Um,
Um, Yeah,
One,
it definitely. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say one far more grisly um, option, though, considering who you're dealing with, might be that it is me returned, or raised and controlled.
I think raised would be more likely, since the from what we know of the poison that was used, there's no uh, easy way to return. And knowing you, I don't believe you would return for her.
And just to clarify, out of character, when I say raised, I mean animated, as in,
Yeah,
brought back to life as an undead.
yeah. And I think that's more likely than her being resurrected somehow from how you described the poison initially.
Okay. I wanted to clarify that because I realized that I used the word raised, which could be implied raised dead, and that's not the way I meant it. I just wanted to clarify that real quick.
Um, my final question is whether the black and white motif of uh, Sasha and Damba, whether it was of your choosing or were you taking after someone with it?
It just kind of happened. I, of course, had Sasha, and then when we found Damba, we just kind of took him in and raised him, and then I had the two of them.
Because, or another uh, factor that makes it seem like it is someone uh, who made you reborn is that this character has uh, the two cats that she has. One is black and one is white.
Well, that's certainly making it seem like someone is trying to emulate me, if nothing else. And, um, Rogar, while, um,
Everyone else just hears one side of this whole thing.
are you actually saying out loud, or speaking out loud?
No, I guess it is just all telepathically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll
you,
just
you can
communicate
speak
with
out
her
loud
like
if you
that.
want. But while Iriana is just kind of staring at this rod in her hand, in your mind, Rogar, you hear, "Greetings, Rogar." You hear this soft-spoken female voice in your mind, and it says, "Greetings, Rogar. Um, Welcome to the group."
He's looking around, not comfortable, trying to figure out what's going on.
That's all you hear unless you respond back.
Who's that?
I'll look up from what I was doing and say out loud to Rogar and Bryn and Aiden and the two dwarves as well that this. I'll just kind of look at it for a second. Rod, I guess, right now is the sentient, not semi-sentient embodiment of our of the owner of the previous owner, sorry, of our school, I guess, academy.
Our adventuring mentor.
Yeah. She was killed a little while ago, 6 months, maybe a year. But
It's probably been
before her
about a year at this point.
but before her death, she had created this item to carry on her knowledge when it was needed, or for when it was needed.
Okay. And then it takes me a second. Didn't that's what you called the girl I described? And he puts his hand on his weapon.
Yes, that is the name I used, but we, the two of us, have come to the conclusion that it seems like someone is either trying to emulate her or has reborn her or risen her from the dead and is controlling her in some way or controlling her corpse.
Okay. He's grown to trust you guys, but he's still leery, but he just nods.
And with that, I will kind of put her uh, put her back into, or put the rod back into my bag.
Okay, as you put the rod away, you can kind of feel the energy of the connection kind of fade.
And then I'll kind of say, well, we should probably get going as soon as we can if we want to make it as far as we can. See if we can figure out where this person is hiding. And then I'll just turn and keep the wall on my right and head along it.
This is basically lunch stop, right?
Yeah, I guess it was about lunchtime.
Okay.
So maybe I won't head out then.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to do or say, Sky?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Anything else from you, Rogar?
Oh, not at the moment.
Okay, then I think we'll go ahead and leave it at lunch and call it for the week because I believe it is 9 o'clock unless I'm reading the clock wrong.
You are reading it correctly.
Okay. Then we will pick this up next week. I'm really enjoying where this is going, guys. I'm really having fun with this island. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's been good.
Strange.
And incidentally, Rogar, Kenny,
Yeah.
Alaria is the former master of the Master House. You were actually sent here to talk to her to see if you could get some information on Alcaeus, the blue dragonborn you were looking for. And when you got here, you found out she was dead, of course. But you didn't actually know what she looked like. So seeing those images from um, uh, whatever your deity's name is, for some reason it's skipping my
Or yeah,
your deity. When you saw those images from your deity, you didn't know that it was her. Though the description rung true for the other three. And then Iriana and, well, I guess Sky has confirmed that it does look like Ilaria. And Iriana talked to the sword, or the weapon now, and has a plausible theory as to what's going on.
thank you.
Okay.
We didn't all hear that, correct? It was just between Iriana and the item, correct?
Correct. She just explained that to the party, though. That
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of summarized it.
she thinks somebody has raised her from the dead and is controlling her. I guess raised her in undeath would be more accurate.
And who would be the most likely candidate, do you think?
Gee, I wonder who that might be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys don't know anyone who seems to have that kind of power, do you?
No, I think it might be Adrian.
Really? That would be a
Yeah,
twist, wouldn't it?
I think he did it. Trying to get back at us for causing Opal to go into a coma. That's
Yeah,
what he's doing, right?
because you guys caused that, right? Not the person who you probably should be blaming.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, I will see you guys later.
Okay.
Have a good week.
Have a good one,
You
Bo.
too. Have a good week.
Okay, I'm going to cut off the recording.